Welcome to our first lesson of t-shirt designing with Adobe Photoshop. In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you how you can photo combine and make yourself up a t-shirt design. And with this whole class and with this whole course, I have also added in a resource file. If you are facing any issue finding your resources, you can use those resources on a resource file. You can use them if you want to, but you can also use your own resources if you want to. And by the end of the lessons, I'm going to be showing you where you can find those resources and from where you'll be able to use them. Okay, because you cannot use whichever file or whichever photo you want to use, because you need to use the royalty free ones for your work, and depends on what you want to use it for. Okay, so without any further ado, Adobe Photoshop on our device. So on my screen, you can see that I have already opened up Adobe Photoshop. Now, the first thing what I'm going to be doing is going to be making myself a new file. So I'm going to click on A4. I'm going to keep it 16 bits because that is basically what I want. And I want my orientation to be portrait. So I'm going to keep the resolution 300. If you want to increase it, that's also up to you. But I'm going to just create on my own project and my own workspace. So as I have it, what I'm going to be doing is going to be making myself up an interface, making myself up a box, making myself up an area, which one I'm going to be using. So first things first is that I'm going to go off to file here, and I'm going to do is just open up the ones which I want to use. So I'm going to go off to my PC or the desktop where I have my resource files. I'm going to find out photo editing, not this one. I'm going to open up TshirtDesign resources. This is the folder, which one you're going to be using. So I'm going to open up a couple of them. Let's say I'm going to use all of these, not this one. I'm going to use, let's say, hands, portrait, roots. So these are the files, or these are the photos which I want to use, and you can see all of them has been opened up on my workspace. Okay, so another thing what I'm going to do or change over here is that I'm going to need a black background. So I'm going to click on new. I'm going to click on this A4 and I want it to be black. Press on OK, press on create, and this is the file which I want. So I'm going to just remove this one. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is going to be making myself of the interface or the section which I'm going to be editing my whole thing or my whole graphic. So first thing is that I'm going to make up a triangle, or let's say a square, with this rectangle tool over here. And basically, this is the interface which I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go off the layers. Here we go. We have a rectangle. And I'm going to do is just change the color to be a bit white so that I can see it. Okay. So I'm going to press on OK. I'm going to do is just remove this one. I'm going to use the selection or move tool. And this is the exact space which I want to use. Okay. So as I have my exact space, I'm going to do is just increase it just a bit. So I'm going to press on shift and increase it just a bit because I want my text to be over here too. So first things first is that I'm going to click on text, press on that. I'm going to remove up all of them and I'm going to put in my own text. Let's say I want something to be, let's say, found out. Okay, this is the name which I'm going to be using it to something, whichever one I want. Let's say this one looks quite good, or maybe this one. There are a couple of fonts which you can use, but I'm going to be using something similar to this one, or maybe something like this. Okay, but there are a couple more which I can, fiddle through. So I'm going to go down and find the one which I basically would like. I can use this if I want to, but I want it to be a bit more funk. So I'm going to go down, and if I cannot find it, there's also like more fonts which you can get, so you don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to go up and down to find out the one, whichever fits in or fills in the criteria. You can also use this. This looks quite good. So I'm going to increase the size 50. So there we go. This is the text which I'm going to be using. Found out. So there we go. We have our text over here. I may increase the size, but I'm going to do is just hold on to shift. There we go. If I have like a couple of text over here, I can also remove them. Press on Control Z to undo the process. There we go. I'm going to select both of them and I'm going to just group them up together. There we go. We have groups. You can also group them if you want to, but I'm going to keep it here for a while. Do is just reduce it. Hold on to shift if you want to, and press on Control or Alt. If you want to fix out the whole thing, what I'm going to do is just select on the specific text, and I'm going to do is going to outside of it. So I'm going to click on this color option. You can see it over here. You can also go off the swatches and everything, but maybe I want a bit of, let's say, crisp, strong, or maybe you can change out, find out the one which you want to use. There we go. We have found it. So I'm going to keep it just like this. And then I'm going to do is going to be putting in my photos. So first off, I'm going to go off the portrait, which is this one over here. And I'm going to do is just remove the background. You can also select the subject. But if you're using an older version, you have to go through a couple of these tools over here, like selection tool and everything, object selection. You have this tool over here. You can select the part just like this and then take it out. So this is also quite new, which also uses AI and internet connections to find out, and you can take them out if you want to. You can also mask it up. You can use the generative fill if you want to, take it out of your, workspace, and you can press on backspace to use content aware and press on OK, and that specific part will be removed. It will take a bit of time, but basically, if you are using the newest version of Adobe Photoshop, you don't have to worry about anything, okay? What you have to do is just select the subject, take it directly onto the space which you want to use, and then you'll be able to use them. So I'm going to not do any of this thing over here. What I'm going to do is going to be selecting on this option and click on select subject. When I click on select subject, I'll be able to drag it out wherever I want. You can see, and I will be able photo. And I'm going to take it directly to Untitled 2 over here. I'm going to do zoom out first. I'm going to hold nothing. I'm going to just take it over here. And I'm going to do is going to be taking directly this into our rectangle. And I'm going to do is going to be using this as a masked object. So what you do basically is take it directly, make sure to hold on to Control or Alt, and then take it into directly the rectangle. And you can also create a clipping mask if you want to. Just right click on it and create clipping mask, and it will be inside of this rectangle. So you can see now that it is not going out. Okay, so this is the workspace which I want. What I'm going to do is going to be keeping this inside over here. Increase up the size. This is the workspace which I want. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to select on this text over here. I want it to be a bit at the top. You can see over here. I'm going to do is just take it over here, which I will be able to use whenever I want to. I'll press on Control Z to find it out. There we go. So as I have it, I'm going to select on this one over here, keep it at the center, and then I'm going to customize it a bit more. Let's say I'm going to just increase it all the way up. And then I'm going to do is going to be, you can see the background already. So I'm going to edit it later on, but the next ones I'm going to start off adding in more elements. So first thing I'm going to do is, as we already have the portraits, then let's say I want these. So I'm going to do is just take all of this photo over here. First off, convert it into a normal layer and take it directly to Untitled 2. So I'm going to keep it right over here. You can see it over here. What I'm going to do is keep it at the top. So as we have it at the top, now obviously we cannot see anything. So if I want to see anything, first I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to do is blend it just a bit. So right click on this option over here and go off the blending option. When you click on blending option, this type of tab will open up. From here, I'm going to do is remove up the white parts from this photo. And you can see this is the part which is remaining. I'm going to fix out the parts too. You can fix out the underlying layer if you want to, and fix out the white parts if you feel like using it. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. And you can see this is how it should look like. You can see this is how it now looks like. I'll be able to blend it a bit more. You can use the ones, whichever one you prefer. Let's say maybe I want color burn, and this looks a bit more better. You can fix in the opacity. There are a couple of these options which you'll be able to use too. So maybe I want color burn, and you can also keep them all the same. Use the erase tool if you want to. And there are a couple of these options which you'll be able to use, which will also make that part, or the ones which you don't want to be cut out of this image. Okay. So from here, I'm going to do is use this most of the time. I'm going to do is just remove it. Just keep it just this. And there we go. We are good to go. Okay. And there are also other options which you can apply. I can fix in the fill options. You can fix in the channels if you want to. You can like put in green if you want to. You can put in blue if you want to. But I'm going to keep it just the way it is. I'm going to press on OK because I have a lot more to edit. So as I have this option or this effect applied, now I'm going to do is going to be also clip it to this whole photo. Okay. So make sure to clip it to the whole photo. And then what I'm going to do is going to be applying another one. Let's say I want this roots. So I'm going to take all of this, convert it into a normal layer, and take it also into this workspace. There we go. Increase this up. I'm going to right click. I'm also going to be converting it or create a clipping mask. And I'm going to right click on it, go off to blending mode, which you will find out over here. You can see we have the blending option right under this section. Blending option. I'm also going to be removing a couple of parts which I do not want. I'm also going to be using, let's say, I'll take it a bit out and I'm going to zoom in a bit more. I'm going to do is just fix in the ones which I actually feel like will look better. And you can also remove out certain parts, okay, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's say I'm going to do is click on this light color. I'm going to do is remove out a couple of parts which I don't want. There we go. And then what we can do over here is that we can remove out certain parts just by using our brush or our erase tool to remove out the parts, whichever one you're using. So I'm going to click on this layer 3, click on this erase tool, and you'll be able to erase out the parts which you do not want. So I'm going to do is select on this brush size, increase it just a bit. Here we go. We can erase out the parts which we do not want. And we can also keep out the parts which we want. You can see it over here. A couple of parts which I don't want is being removed. There we go. Looks a lot more better. There we go. As we have it, now I'm going to do is just fix out this part over here. I'm going to keep a couple of these particles because it will just look a bit like grunge effect. Okay, you can try that out. So there we go. We have 3 of these. And I'm going to do is going to be right clicking on it. I'm going to go off to, let's say, go off the blending option again. And I'm going to do is going to be changing the color just a bit. So I'm going to go off to outer glow or whichever one you prefer. I'm going to go off the texture. I'm going to do is apply in a bit of texture. There we go. And I can see there we go. We have a grunge effect. Also reduce the opacity. Fix in this option over here. And then we can also apply in contour if you want to. I'm not going to be applying contour neither texture, but I'm going to go off directly into color overlay. And you can also fix that up. I'm going to fix in the color options over here. You can fix that up if you want to, but if you don't want it, you can just turn it off and keep it however it is. Okay. So I'm going to just remove that. And you can use whichever one you want. Let's say I want drop shadow. There we go. You can see how it looks like. See on the drop shadow, we have this option over here, fixing that. A bit of this option over here, distance, fixing the distance. Keeping the spread. Fixing the sizes. There we go. Looks a bit better. I'm going to press on OK. So there we go. We have a bit of effect applied. I'm going to do is remove the parts which I do not need. Select on that, and there we go. We have 3 of these, and I'm going to apply the last element, which is going to be the hand. I'm going to take it out, convert to normal layer. First off, I'm going to do is just use the hand. So I'm going to press on this select subject, wait for a bit, make sure you're connected with the internet, and then it will select up the subject, and I'm going to take only this part over here. I'm going to do is just rotate it just a bit. You can see this option on the corner. I'll be able to rotate them up. Right click on it. I'm going to just reduce the size. I'm going to right click. I'm going to just create a clipping mask. There we go. And you can see obviously this looks very saturated, so I'm not going to be keeping this that saturated. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to go off the blending option again. And from here, I'm going to fix it out. I'm going to keep it blend if gray. I'm going to remove out the colors. You can see it over here. You can also fix in whichever color you want to use. There's a couple of these options over here. See luminosity, that's also quite good. I fix it out. There are a couple of the parts which I do not want. There we go. So we have it. We have the design. Now you can also apply whichever effect you want. Let's say maybe I want a bit of color overlay, so I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on black, press on OK. There we go. We have it. Can fix in whichever blending mode we want to. Maybe I want a bit of color burn and press on OK, and then you're good to go. So basically we have all of these designs, and I will basically want it under this maybe so that it looks better. Okay, I'm going to just right click on it. I'm going to do is just go off to blending option, and I'm going to do is just increase up a bit more. Okay, I'm going to just go off over here at the top, right click on it, go off the blending option, and I'm going to do this underlying layer to be a bit more darker, just a bit. There we go. I'm going to increase up the white parts just a bit so that it actually looks better. Press on OK. And on this one, I'm going to do is just reduce it just a bit. So I'm going to go off to blending option again and adjust the black part. Okay, so I'm going to do is just apply the underlying layer just a bit and the white parts just a bit. Okay, so I'm going to press on OK as we are good to go. And then what we're going to do is going to be selecting each and every one of them. First, I'm going to do select all the text. I'm going to do is going to be selecting on that. And let's say maybe I want a bit of effect over here, so I'm going to right click on it. What I'm going to do is going to be converted into a smart object so that I can apply more effect. But first off, I'm going to do is also going to be applying a bit of blending option. And I'm going to apply a bit of stroke here so that it looks better. So I'm going to go off the stroke and apply the size. Select the color. Let's say I'm going to put it white. I'm going to do is not inside, but outside. I'm going to fix that out. There we go. Found out. I'm going to press on OK. Okay, if you want to apply more effect, that's basically up to you. Let's say maybe I want a bit of shadow. You can also put that. I'm going to put in a drop shadow. I'm going to go off over here. You can also apply that effect if you want to. Let's say I'm going to use fixing the distance. There we go. Fixing the spread, fixing the sizes. You're going to fix in the opacity. You can apply a bit of noise if you want to. There we go. Looks a lot more better. I'm going to press on OK. And just keep it a bit over here. And what I'm going to do is going to be selecting on all of them. I'm going to do is remove the parts which I do not want. Select all of them. Press on Control. You can group them up first. You can increase the size of them. And what I'm going to do is going to be selecting all of the ones which I have over here and turn it into a clipping, or let's say smart object. There we go. As they have turned into a smart object, now I can take it however I want. The first thing what I'm going to do is going to be applying a bit of effect on it. So I'm going to go off the filters, go off, let's say I want a bit of blur or distortion or noise. So first thing I'm going to do is just go off to others, click on custom if you want to, but I'm going to do is just go off the filters. Let's say I'm going to do is apply a bit of average. Let's check how it looks like. Okay, I'm going to press on Z. I'm going to do is just go off the filters. I'm going to do is apply a bit of noise. And there we go. You can do that. Press on OK, then we're good to go. I'm going to go off the filters again, and maybe I want a bit of distort or maybe a bit of, let's say, color. I need a bit of color over here. So what I'm going to do is going to go off the 3D, or I can also go off the camera raw filter if I want more of the effects. You can see this is how it looks like. what I'm going to do is just going to turn it to monochrome, and this is how it should look like. Okay. So instead of monochrome, what I can do is change out the colors a bit more. What I'm going to do is decrease the saturation. I'm going to just increase the vibrance. I'm going to just apply a bit more grain to it. There we go. It will take a bit of time to apply the effects and press on OK. And you can see this is how it looks like. So as we're done combining all of the images, I'm going to cut out the parts or, cut out the resources which I do not want anymore. Remove, and also the last one. I'm not going to be using that, so I'm going to just remove that. You can also apply it if you want to. And then I'm going to do is going to be opening up the t-shirt file, which is going to be PSD. Now I have a black t-shirt and also white t-shirt. You can use it on whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to put it on a black. So I'm going to press on that. There we go. We have the PSD. What I do is just select it and drag it into our t-shirt file, which is our PSD file. Press on OK. You can see this is how it looks like. I'm going to right click on it. Use clipping mask. I'm going to do is just reduce the size. There we go. And this is how our t-shirt will look like. Okay. You can also use it on your white t-shirt and find it out or check out how it looks like. I'm going to do is just click on open, or what you can also do is that we don't need this white part, right? So what we can do is that we can remove out the background. Click on remove background and you'll basically see that the background will be removed. It will take a bit of time to select up the background. You can see what I'm going to do is going to be altering it. So I'm going to press on Alt. You can also alt it up if you want to. You have these options over here. I'm going to press on Control Z. What I can do is just select up this option over here. Just right click on this, quick selection tool. Select up all of these parts which you actually need. There we go. Except this over here. We don't need the white parts or the black parts outside of it, obviously. There we go. Zoom in a bit more. This is how it will look like. There we go, selected. There we go. I'm going to do is just zoom out. Okay, zoom in and out, whichever part you want. There we go, selected. So what I can do is that select on this tool over here and drag out the part which I want to use. You can also remove out the part which you do not want. First off, you have to use this generative fill, and there we go. The part which you don't want has been removed, and I can take it on this part over here. Press on OK. It will take a bit of time, and I'm going to do is just remove this, delete, and I can replace it with this one. There we go. This is how it will look like. So hope you understood everything about this lesson on how you'll be able to combine a couple of images and make up your t-shirt design just by using Adobe Photoshop. It is very simple. Just make sure to follow up the steps. Okay, it's not that complex. And if you have new idea, you can obviously apply that effect, apply that idea, and find it out how it looks like. Okay, so hope you understood about everything, and thank you for watching this video up to the very end. If you still have any confusion or any question about any part of the lesson, feel free to ask me. I'm always there to help you. So without any further ado, let's move on to our next lesson of t-shirt designing with Adobe Photoshop.